Hello, welcome to English 1A Composition online. My name is Samantha Cragg. You can call me Professor Cragg. I will be your instructor for this class. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to introduce you to this class. The first thing I'm going to talk about are the materials that you need. So you're going to need a couple of things before even getting into this video. Since you're watching this video, it means you have already found the Moodle site and logged in. That's awesome. That's really your first step. The next thing you need to do is print out your syllabus. You need some paper. You need something to write with, like a pen or a pencil. You need a highlighter. And I would also recommend printing out the lecture notes handout. It's optional, but it's really helpful if you print it out and have it in front of you during this lecture. So if you don't yet have your syllabus, go ahead and pause this video right now, print the syllabus, and get stuff to write with. Alright, so hopefully you're back. You have your syllabus, you have your handout, optional but highly recommended, got some pens or pencils, a highlighter. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to do is talk to you about the expectations in this class. Both my expectations for you and what you can expect from me, right? It's only fair, it's a two-way street. So my expectations from you are, first of all, that you are a self-motivated, independent learner. Why do I think that? Because you're taking an online class. So if you're not a self-motivated, independent learner, you need to become one right now in order to really be successful in this class. You need to make sure that you are keeping a schedule and that you're following it, and that you are kind of encouraging and motivating yourself to get things done on time, because you won't be walking into a classroom and having me sort of checking in on you like you would in a face-to-face class. Okay, the next expectation that I have of you is that even if you are independent and self-motivated, when you need help, you ask for help. Everyone needs help sometimes. It really doesn't matter who you are or how independent you are, we all need help sometimes. So if you have a question or a concern or a problem, there are a couple of things you need to do. The first thing you need to do is look in the syllabus. Does the syllabus have the answer? It has a lot of answers in it, so always check there first. The next thing you want to do, if you don't find the answer in your syllabus, is ask a team member. So probably next week, second week, I will be giving everyone a team, and you will sort of have these people, you'll have their contact information, and you can rely on them to ask them questions, to send them reminders, to maybe try to set up study groups, and that's really going to help you succeed. If your team members don't know and you don't find the answer in your syllabus, that's when you want to ask me or a tutor. So if it's something specific to our class, then, you know, ask me. And if it's something just about writing in general or skills in general, then a tutor can help you. The tutors are at all three campuses, right? Rancho, Fontana, and Chino. They're free, they're nice, so seek help from a tutor or come to me either through email or when I'm on campus. Okay, the next expectation is that you have access to a computer. So this is an online class, so whether you have a computer at home or you have a reliable computer somewhere else, like the main campus or one of the three campuses that you can go to, you want to make sure that you're able to log on at least twice a week for the best results. Let's see, my fourth expectation is that you have your textbook already, and that if you don't have it, you go to the bookstore and get it as soon as possible. Thursday would be the absolute latest, and that's really pushing it. So get that textbook. If you already ordered it online, then that's great. If you have not yet ordered it online, by this point it's probably a little bit too late. You're not going to get it shipped in time. So go to the bookstore at Chaffey College and buy the book for this class. There's simply no way to pass this class without reading the book, and the first week is pretty book heavy. You're going to have a lot of reading, so get that book. Okay, my next expectation, in addition to reading the textbook, is that you read the online texts and the handouts every week. And not just that you read them, but that you actively read them. What does that mean, actively read them? That you use some sort of process strategies or annotation skills. So underline, highlight, circle, write questions in the margins, write comments in the margins, make connections, actively engage with the readings. I will expect, once I've put out, lecture notes, or once I've put out something about an outline or a thesis, I expect that you know that information. So make sure that you're reading those handouts and keeping up with them. Let's see, my next expectation is that you check your email every week. Do not, whatever you do not block Moodle. Sometimes students will complain that they get too many emails, because every time someone, gives them feedback on a discussion forum or on a journal, or, every time the teacher sends out an announcement or a student sends out an announcement on the social forum, they get an email, and maybe it's just too many emails. So if that's the case, and if that's why you've blocked Moodle, then what you need to do is go into your profile and go to email and set up a daily digest, so that every day you just get one email with all sort of communications from Moodle in it. A lot of times that's much more helpful if you have sort of a too much email problem. Okay, my next expectation is that you watch all of the lectures with full attention and that you take notes. So right now, I expect that you're watching this lecture and only watching this lecture. If you are on your phone right now, if you are watching TV, if you're at work and you're working on something else while this lecture is playing in the background, then you are not meeting my expectations and you will not succeed in this class. So make sure that you pay attention to the online lectures. There's only a handful of them. There's, I don't know, maybe going to be 4, 5, 6 lectures that are filmed. The rest will be written down. Don't take advantage of the filmed lectures in a bad way, right? Don't just let them play and think, oh, I'm just going to magically remember what's happening. Take advantage of them in a good way, like if you're a visual learner, right, or if you're an oral learner and you learn through hearing things or seeing things, hear and see these videos. It's really going to help you out. One thing I do for the lectures is I sort of put in like weird things sometimes, and I ask about them on the quiz. Like I might have a tiger jumping over my head out of the blue, and then on a quiz it's going to say, true or false, a tiger jumped over Professor Craig's head during the video. And if you weren't watching, you might think, well, that's weird. Why would a tiger be in a video? So I'm going to say false. That didn't happen. But you would be wrong, right? I put in those things specifically to kind of check that you're watching, that you're paying attention, because if you were watching, that's not something that you would forget, right? You would remember something kind of weird like that. And finally, my last expectation is that you are taking notes right now, that you are writing down the things that I'm saying right now. If you're not, rewind this video and write down what I'm saying. The great thing about an online class or about an online lecture is that you can rewind and you can pause, and so do that. Take advantage of that ability. If this was a face-to-face class and you're sitting down and we're in a classroom and you're taking notes and you miss something that I say, you can't DVR reality, right? You can't like rewind the class, but you can do that in an online class, so take advantage of that. As far as your expectations of me, what you can expect from me, I will respond to your emails within 48 hours. Usually much more quickly, but sometimes it will take a whole 48 hours. It won't ever take longer than that, unless it's like some weird circumstance. I will return your essays within 2 weeks, hopefully within 1 week, but definitely within 2 weeks. I will have 6 office hours over the course of the semester. I do not have actual office hours. I don't have an office on campus. So I will be coming in though 6 times throughout the semester, and I will be somewhere on the main campus in Rancho Cucamonga. I'll send out emails. My very first on-campus office hour is this Wednesday. So Wednesday, I believe it's the 14th. It's in your schedule, so you can see that on the schedule. There will be lots of comments on your essays. That's something else you can expect from me. Those are oral comments, so I record them and I email you a little audio recording of the comments. and there will be a few but very minimal comments on things like homework or journals. All right, so now that we've talked about the expectations of the class, let's talk about the syllabus. So I know you have the syllabus because you went and printed it out before listening to this video. So we're going to go ahead and look through this. Every once in a while, I'm going to ask you to pause this video and just read parts of the syllabus on your own. So the first thing we're going to look at, the top of the syllabus, it says my name, right, Samantha Cragg. My email, this is really important, samantha.cragg@chaffey.edu, and a phone number. That phone number is a voicemail that goes right into my email. So I'll never answer that phone call. So if it's, you know, if you're expecting that, that's not going to happen. It's not a real phone number. It just goes to my email. I'm going to jump to the materials that you need. So the materials that you need for this class, like I said, your textbook. You can get this at the bookstore. You also need a dictionary. You can get like small, like a dictionary thesaurus, like pocket-sized, or you can get a bigger dictionary, something like this. I highly recommend something kind of like this, kind of thick, right? But this is a really good dictionary, and you're in college, and a college student needs a good dictionary. Don't rely on Google Dictionary or, you know, whatever. Make sure you get an actual physical dictionary. You also need things like pens, pencils, highlighters, right? A 3-ring binder, right? Some sort of a 3-ring binder, and some sort of a folder, right, with pockets, right? Folder with pockets. You might be thinking, this is an online class. Why would I possibly need physical things like a folder and a 3-ring binder? You need those things because I expect you to print out those handouts. When you're taking quizzes, they're timed quizzes. You will have maybe 30 seconds to a minute per question. They're easy questions. But if you don't remember, you can have your materials organized in front of you, and you can be able to find them if they're organized and find the answers to those questions really quickly. Whereas if it's just, you know, a bunch of links that you're clicking on throughout Moodle to try to find whatever it is, it's going to be a lot harder. So you want to practice those sort of academic success skills, which is printing things out, keeping them organized, keeping them in a folder. It's also really going to help you when you're writing your essays to have things to be able to look at. The other materials that you'll need, it's really important, a flash drive. I don't know how well this shows up on the video, but some sort of a flash drive. I would recommend saving things, you know, like essays, saving them multiple ways, right? Create backups and create backups for your backups. So have your essay saved on a flash drive, email your essay to yourself so that if your computer crashes, it's still on your email. Save it on your computer so that if you lose your flash drive, it's still saved on your hard drive. Make sure that, you know, computer problems happen. It's going to happen. That's life. Don't let those computer problems end up causing you problems. So have multiple ways of saving your papers or saving your homework. You will be thankful that you did. Okay, I think that's it for the materials. You also will need access to a printer and the internet, as well as just having a computer. Okay, go ahead and read pages 1, 2, and 3. Pause this, right? Pause the video, read pages 1, 2, and 3, and then turn it back on. I'll meet you at page 4. Alright, so you've read pages 1, 2, and 3, right? You've annotated, you've highlighted things, you've circled things, you've written down questions that you have or comments, or something like that, right? Practice doing that now. Practice annotating now. Alright, so now we're on page 4. Page 4 is how to succeed in online English 1A. I want you to read page 4 carefully, sign at the bottom when you're done reading it, and meet me at page 5. Okay, so hopefully you've read page 4, you've signed it, you understand everything that you need to do to really get along well in this class. Page 5, we're going to look at the things that you'll be doing, right? How to keep track of your grades, basically. So there's this this little table, that's what it's called, a little table here. Essay 1's going to come up pretty quickly. I think it's due in week 3. It's worth the least amount of points, And it's just to kind of get you writing and to get you in the swing of things right away. So you're going to have Essay 1, that's worth 100 points. Essay 2 and 3 is a little bit longer, so Essay 1 was 2 pages. Essays 2 and 3 are 3 to 5 pages. They're both worth 135 points. Essay 4, even longer, right, 4 to 6 pages, and that's worth even more points, 200 points. Then you've got your participation, that's worth a third of the class, so 330 points. Then you've got your quizzes, there's going to be 7 quizzes, 10 points a piece approximately. The quizzes are the one thing that's kind of hard to sort of keep track of, because each quiz won't be the exact same number of questions. So really it's going to be all of those questions averaged out is what the quiz grade is going to come out to be. It's not like there's one question on each quiz, you know, and each one is worth 10 points or something like that. So that's the one where it's, you can get a roundabout figure for your quizzes by just tracking down your scores. I would track your scores by percentage, and that's probably what's going to give you the closest. Like if you get a 70% on the quiz, give yourself 7 points for it, written down, right? Write down the scores you get, and that way you'll always know what your grade is in the class. And then you've got your supplemental learning. Supplemental learning is something that you will do on your own. You can do it by visiting one of the campuses, right? Rancho, Chino, or Fontana. Or you can do it online. There's something called the COW, or the COW. I believe it's Chaffey Online Writing Center, something like that. You can go on that. That will appear in your courses when you're on Moodle, right? When you're on Moodle and you have the courses and you've got this course, and then you'll have the COW course. That course probably won't be there the first week, but it should be there by week 2, maybe week 3 at the latest. And that is a school requirement. It's not a personal requirement of me or, you know, this class, but it's required of all 1A classes that you spend 3 hours doing assignments with the Writing Center. So that's worth 30%, 30 points, or 3% of your grade. And then finally, extra credit. You can get a total of 4% extra credit. What I'm going to have you do is read what all the assignments are and what all the due dates are. The one thing I do want to tell you, because I want to make sure this is super clear, the due dates for group things will always be on Wednesday. So what's a group activity? Let's say a forum post or a wiki or a WordPress post, anything that other students need to read and respond to, that needs to be posted by Wednesday at the latest, so your classmates have a chance to respond to it before Friday. Anything that's an individual assignment, like a journal, right, or turning in your final draft of an essay, that's due by Friday at noon at the latest. So be really careful that you understand that the week does not end on Sunday, but that every week ends on Friday. The best thing to do is to treat this class like it's a Monday, Wednesday class. So like just convince yourself that you're taking a Monday, Wednesday class. Do half the assignments Monday, do half the assignments Wednesday, and then you're done. And if something happens, some sort of emergency comes up, well then it buys you a couple extra days until Friday at noon to get around that obstacle. But if you sort of have it in your mind, if you plan, okay, I'm always going to have everything by Friday at noon, so Friday at 11, I'm going to hop on my computer and start submitting my homework. What happens if you have a computer problem, right? What happens if your internet goes down? What happens if you lose your file? You know, or you get sick or something, or you get into a little minor fender bender on the way to the campus, and then it takes so much time, you don't get there on time. That's it. There's no excused late anything. So if something happens and you've waited until the very last minute, you just kind of shot yourself in the foot, and there's no way around that. So do it early so that you can overcome any obstacles that happen. Okay, so go ahead and pause this video. I want you to read pages 5 and 6, and I will meet you on page 7. Okay, so hopefully by now you've paused and read page 5 and 6. You know what all of the assignments are going to be and all of the due dates. And now we're actually going to look at the content of the class. So up at the top of page 7, it says driving question. This is what sort of is the main focus of the entire semester, content-wise. So our driving question: what rhetorical strategies do individuals and communities use to produce social justice? What are the limits of rhetoric to provide social justice? That's what we're going to be talking about. Those are the texts that we will be reading for the next 18 weeks. It's broken into 3 smaller driving questions. So Unit 1, you can see this highlighted. Driving question: how does discussion, music, and speech help communities achieve social justice? Unit 1 is the only unit that has 2 essays in it. Unit 2 and 3 both just have 1 essay. So what I want you to do is to read the related questions and the learning goals, and then read through the assignments. I'll meet you at the end of the syllabus for just some final words. So pause it, read the schedule closely, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, now you've read through the schedule, you know all the assignments that you'll be turning in, all the readings that you'll be reading, all the due dates, all the days that I will be on campus doing conferences. So you're pretty much set. One thing that you might need to know that I don't think I told you, on the assignments and activities, after every activity, there might be a number like 10 or 135. Usually it'll say 10. Those are the point values. So, if an assignment has a 10 on it, it's worth 10 points, right? If it has 100, it's worth 100 points. So that's a way for you to know how much everything is worth and to try to keep track of your grade. You will also be able to track your grade on something called N-Grade. Around week 3, I will send you the information for N-Grade. The Moodle gradebook I don't use. I use a different gradebook, so you'll get that information around week 3. Okay, so now all you need to do is start doing the work. So this week you've got 3 assignments. You have the introduce yourself and schedule activity. That's I think it's on a discussion forum. You have the Meet Moodle and lecture notes that you will turn in as a journal. And then you have a quiz. So you want to make sure that all 3 of those things are done by Friday. And actually the introduce yourself and the schedule, that's a group activity. So hopefully you have that done by Wednesday, although you might be watching this video a little bit late and it might be past Wednesday already. So just do it as soon as possible so that other people can respond and can meet you, and so you can meet other people. The directions for these activities and for all future activities will be on Moodle every week. The directions will be there. If you're having trouble finding things, just click on stuff. So for example, you'll be able to see the schedules, like the numbered schedules, but you might not be able to see all the activities, and you might be a little confused. But if you just hover over things, you'll notice at some point your mouse turns into, like the little hand, right? It's like a link, and you can click on that link. So the date for each week, you can click on that, and that's what opens up the actual instructions and the activities. You should have already figured that out to get the syllabus, but maybe you haven't, so now you know. That's it. Make sure that you have all your materials and do all the assignments by Friday, and yeah, that's it. It was great meeting you.